One.
Venezuela, a country in which both my parents descend from. Even though I've been through a bunch of economic turmoil, I'm still to this day proud to say I'm a Venezuelan. Throughout my speech today, I hope to achieve 4 different topics. First, the geography of the land. Such geographical features could include the Angel Falls and Lake Maracaibo. Next, we'll take a look at the culture, which could include the food, music, etc. Venezuela has a very unique culture that differentiates itself from the rest of Latin America. Next, we'll take a look at demographics. Personally, I'm very intrigued by demographics and hope you are as well. And lastly, sports. Like the United States, Venezuela loves its sports, more specifically, baseball and soccer. First, let's take a look at the geography of the land. Where is it located? Well, at the top of South America, as you can see at the target point there. It borders Colombia to its left, Guyana right below it, and Brazil right below. Guyana is to the right of it. It's nicknamed the Crown of South America due to its location being at the top. Next, let's take a look at Angel Falls. To some of you, this might sound familiar, seeing as it is the tallest waterfall in the entire world. It sits at a height of roughly 3,212 feet. Book written by Sarah A. DeForest from Gale Resource Online, published in 2014, titled South America, states, the Guyana Highland are in the northeast. This is a moist region with many waterfalls, including Angel Falls, which falls freely for 2,630 feet. It gets its name from famous U.S. aviator pilot Jimmy Angel. He was the first person to actually fly over the national landmark and will not be the only one. Next, let's look at Lake Maracaibo. The first European to actually discover this place was Alonso de Ojeda. My dad actually comes from Maracaibo and is actually one of the more densely populated regions in all of Venezuela. What is so important about this lake, you might ask? Well, it's known for being one of the richest petroleum producing regions in the entire world. Venezuela gains about 1/4 of its profits from this lake alone. A fun fact about Lake Maracaibo is the weather phenomenon, the Catatumbo lightning. It produces over 1.2 million lightning discharges a year. Why does it do this, you might ask? Well, throughout the day, the lake evaporates a bunch of water. And because of this evaporation, it creates a bundle of clouds. And not to get too technical, a drastic change in temperature from the atmosphere to the lake around it creates this weather phenomenon. Up here, you can take a look at a satellite picture of the lake itself. This is the mouth. This is the actual basin of Maracaibo. Alright, next let's look at culture. First, we'll take a look at the flag. Now, as you can see, it looks very similar to the Colombian flag, but has a bit more going on. We'll take a look at the colors first. The yellow represents the wealth of the land, such as the oil found in the lake and other riches. The blue represents the courage, loyalty, and justice of the people, as well as the sea that separates itself from Spain, the country it gained its independence from. And the red represents the bloodshed from the soldiers, also known as liberators. If you take a look at the stars, the first 7 represent the 7 provinces of Venezuela itself, and the 8th was actually added in 2006 by President Hugo Chavez in honor of Simon Bolivar, one of the key leaders in the battle for independence. Next is the coat of arms, which is located in the top left of the flag, but you can see it a little bit more closer here. In the top left of the coat of arms, you can see 20 strands of wheat, which represents the union of the 20 states. The weapon in the top right represents the triumph throughout the war, and the white horse represents the freedom. Venezuelan cuisine. I love food, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. First, let's take a look at the arepa. For some of you, or I guess a lot of you, this looks very familiar, seeing as it was done in my demonstration speech. But to give you the gist of it, it's a corn-based bread stuffed with meats and cheese. It is mainly used as a side dish, or it could be the main meal itself. Next is tequeños. To some of you, it might look like a mozzarella stick, but let me tell you, you're wrong. It simply is a salty white cheese stick wrapped by a pastry crust which can be fried or baked and is mainly used as an appetizer or a fun snack. Last, we have the hallaca. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's a big part of Venezuelan culture. It's typically only really served around holiday times, unless you're really craving one, and it's a corn dough wrapped by a plantain leaf stuffed with guiso. Within guiso, you can find olives, raisins, or even types of meat, but this honestly differentiates between family to family. And last for the culture section is joropo. Joropo is a Venezuelan dance that has African, native South American, and European influence. Traditionally, women would wear a wide skirt to the knees with a blouse on top filled with the country's colors to show their pride. Men were a little lame, and they would just wear a jacket, long pants paired with a cowboy hat. In the 19th century, joropo actually meant to party, but because of such the fame it caught on, it developed into its own dance. It's kind of cool. As you can take a look here, these are some of the joropo dresses the women would wear throughout their dance. Demographics, something I'm intrigued by, and maybe some of you are as well. First, let's take a look at Venezuela's population. It's 28,435,940. Now, this population has been on a steady decline since 2015 concerning the economic state of the country. If we take a closer look, 51% of the population is male and 49% is female. If you look at the age groups, from newborn up to around young adult, it's roughly 57%. And then if you look at about middle-aged man up into just about retirement age, you have roughly 36%. And then anything above that, you're below the 5% region. So not many old people, a lot of young. Let's look at the religion. Catholicism is roughly 85% of the country, but is on decline, seeing as Protestant and unaffiliated religion is making a rise. Protestant being at 9% and unaffiliated being at a 3%. Sports. I love sports, and I know a lot of you do as well. But more specifically, I'm a big fan of baseball. And luckily, my country is as well. Well, baseball and soccer are the two most popular sports within the region. But since I'm such a fan of baseball, let's take a closer look at that. If we take an article written by, or published by Knowledge Unlimited titled The Return of Major League Baseball, written on March 6, 2018, it states, in 2017, 27.4% of baseball players were Latino. Of that 27%, 26.2% were Venezuelan. That's roughly 76 Venezuelan baseball players. Here's a few of the famous names some of you might recognize. Famous slugger Miguel Cabrera plays for the Detroit Tigers. Multi-Gold Glove winner Salvador Perez. Another great defensive player in Omar Vizquel. The first Venezuelan Hall of Famer, Luis Aparicio, who played for my favorite team, the Chicago White Sox. And Felix, the King himself, Hernandez, who was the last pitcher in modern day era to throw a perfect game. And now just to sum up, my four main topics were the geographical features of the land, such as Lake Maracaibo and Angel Falls. Next, we took a look at the culture of Venezuela, being what the flag symbolizes. The cuisine of the food, the Venezuelan cuisine, and the joropo. Next, we looked at demographics, and within that, we looked at the age gap between male and female, religion, and age groups. And lastly, we take a look at sports, but more specifically in baseball and its famous players. Now, a key takeaway I hope you all get from this is that there are other countries outside of the United States of America. And I leave it up to you to go and research and find out more yourself. Thank you.